कुहू कुहू बोले कोयलिया, कुंज कुंज में भंवरे डोले, गुनगुन बोले आ, जिया लागे ना तुम बिन मोरा, जिया लागे ना तुम बिन मोरा.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us, Sona, and welcome to ETimes. And it's such a pleasure to talk to you always. Firstly, congratulations on World Music Day. You are one of the most prolific, mellifluous singers that we have in our country. And it's such a pleasure having you with us on World Music Day.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much. And I take pride in the fact that I put out music of my own outside of the usual, film music. And what I'm also most proud of is I finally decided to make a film because I found myself in a place where I felt I wasn't getting the kind of songs I deserve to sing. And there weren't enough songs for women, sorry to say. And then I said, the time is up in terms of sitting and cribbing or complaining or waiting for others to change things for you. And I felt no better way to, send out the best kind of, I won't say message, but it's a sense of empowerment to say that I'll make my own film. I'll sing my heart out. I'll tell my story. And to have done that is one thing, but to actually now be putting it out at a time which is coinciding with the World Music Day, that too in a manner where the whole country can watch it. I cannot tell you, it gives me a sense of great pride.
Before we move on, I have to ask you about the lovely jacket that you're wearing. It is the Pride Month, and I think you're wearing it on your sleeves quite literally.
Oh, yeah. And it is a Pride Month. There are two reasons why I felt, I dress up as a means of expression. It's never thought through. It's never through a stylist. It's my expression as much as an artistic expression, as a music I sing, the things that I talk about and stand up for. And just yesterday, this amazing art director friend I found on Instagram, because I love his work, called Rishabh, stays in Kolkata. He's also a Bharatnatyam Odissi dancer. He put up this beautiful video, a reel to a song of mine. And I share it with great pride, literally, because it was a artistically made video of a gentleman with a beard but dressed up in a sari. And right now it's the trend, a lot of guys wearing skirts and dancing, and there's a lot of fun that's happening, in terms of these barriers and mental stereotypes breaking down. I share it with great pride. Thousands of people unfollowed me, wrote a lot of nasty things. I also got a lot of love, and it made me feel that, man, what an amazing time that we live in, that I'm okay enough to see people unfollowing me. I've never been about numbers, because those are the kind of people or fans that I don't need in any case. And somewhere it makes a great connect to the life I've led as an artist. The song I'm putting out, the first song I'm putting out in the Up Sona film is a song called Piya Se Naina. It's on a week away, just after World Music Day. And it's again connected very deeply to this whole idea of pride, because while it's a Khusro Kalam, it's a very popular Khusro Kalam. मैं तो पिया से नैना लड़ाई रे, मैं तो पिया से नैना लड़ाई रे. And it's a motif in the film because it keeps coming up. I go to the Nizamuddin Dargah, which is one of the most popular scenes in the film, where for 800 years, women are never allowed to, you're not allowed inside to the inner sanctum. And you're definitely, वहाँ पे कवाली बहुत सुंदर रात भर थर्सडे को होती है दिल्ली के निजामुद्दीन दरगाह में. रात रात भर लोग मलंग होके गाना सुनते हैं. But women are not allowed to perform. And that's been a tradition, and it continues till this day. Now, in the film, I enter the Dargah. I have the most brilliant conversation with the custodians of the Dargah. They, I must tell you, are amongst the most dignified, beautiful, loving, generous souls. So impeccably turned out, so dignified, such scholars. And sometimes you just then realize, the dogma is dogma. You don't know why you're saying that women shouldn't sing, but they shouldn't sing. वो चले आ रहा है तो चले आ रहा है. और बातचीत के बीच में I start singing and I sing Piya Se Naina. And there is this moment in the film where even then, when we were actually shooting it, we felt, my God, the bricks are going to come down on our head and things are going to collapse, because till then it is so beautiful and poetic. They're explaining why is it that Sufiana Kalam is always sung from a female perspective, but largely only sung by the men? Why aren't women allowed to sing outside of their homes? Why is it their culture? Here I am, listening to them. Then I ask them, do line gaun. And just like I sang for you, I start singing, and then they sing along with me. And for many people, when we went through we started with Rotterdam, Sweden, New York, Toronto, and we took the film around in rounds. And I remember that moment, there would be this moment where everybody would be, oh my God, what is she doing? What's going to happen? But then you realize the power of music because they join along and they start singing.
But Sona, tell me, I mean, you have always been a vocal champion for women's rights, right from the Me Too movement. I remember in 2016, you were invited to a college to perform and they asked you to bring a man along, otherwise don't come. That's the time, we saw you speak out. There were a lot of repercussions. People called your husband to keep you in check. This is also a very integral part of this documentary. How did it impact you and especially the people around you, your family? Did they ever tell you that, just be safe? Don't, ruffle feathers, perhaps?
Actually, we're mixing two very interesting parts of my life in that phase. I had just gone through the most hideous, horrible trolling, including death threats and literally hota hai na, shit coming in Dabbas into my studio, this very studio, because I had called out Salman Khan for his misogynistic statements, and that had gone viral. And that was a 2-month long process, where finally the Minister of Women and Child Welfare had to put out a story, and it had come out in Times of India. They were the first ones to break it, where she said, we are launching a hashtag called I'm being trolled for better safety of women and children online, because Sona Mohapatra has been facing vicious threats, and I was being morphed onto porn sites, and every day there were gang rape threats. It was horrible. And then we realized that it is also a consolidated digital army that is doing it, not necessarily just fans. So while it is fueling a culture of intimidation and bullying online and further scaring away women from being online in that open space, it was also happening it was premeditated. It was actually people, like there were a lot of paid bots who were starting this whole game. So I decided to take it up head on, and I had just gone through that. It was horrible for my family, I must tell you. It's exhausting, and some days Ram would come back from the studio and I would be sobbing on my couch. And you see a lot of those Fula Hua faces even in the film, because that constant trolling and constant dealing with that negativity is not easy. It's not something I enjoy for sure. But the thing is, it's still worth going through, because it does slowly change things, because conversations change the world. And then coming to the IIT issue, where that letter I wrote went viral, because again, for the third time, I was called by IIT Bombay. I'll be very upfront. There's no point blaming other IITs, because since then, other IITs have once in a while hosted a Sunidhi Chauhan or someone. But Mood Indigo, I had collated again numbers by then, because I knew, had called me for the third time and said, we are fans of yours. We follow you on Facebook. We would love to have you perform on our festival. But can you get Ram sir to join you? I told them, but Ram sir does not perform with me. वो Coke Studio में है, but that is a different platform. The live band is mine. I perform with my band. I've been doing it for 10 years. It's Sona Live. It's not Ram Sona Live, So why are you asking me to ask Ram sir to join you? एक तो ये और दूसरी तो budgets नहीं है, but उनको सब कुछ चाहिए. Ram sir को भी बुला दो.
Yes, but lastly, of course, Sona, I have to ask you this, and as an artist, it's imperative that we highlight, the working conditions of singers when you are on stage and performing, the kind of environment that India has for its artists. For example, we recently lost KK, and there were a lot of buzz about the AC not working, where he was performing, he was suffocating, he couldn't breathe, he was going breathless. So what are your thoughts on it, considering that you do so many live shows? Is it important to keep an artist comfortable?
I'll give you the other take of it, okay? Our artists, we are also very pampered. We have one of the, there are certain circuits around the world where people have to lift up their own guitars, their gears, everything, and so let me tell you, in the A League, we are a very pampered lot. We travel only business class. We stay in 5 stars. Lot of tantrums are thrown by artists about ye che wo che. इस हद तक गाड़ी कौन से आएगी, कौन से E class, कौन सा प्लस प्लस, हनी गरम रह के गाड़ी में रहना चाहिए. So Lot is done to even pander for the artist's comfort, let me tell you. Organizers also have a nightmare. Let me tell you the other aspect of what organizers go through. The kind of entertainment taxes that are there, the kind of payouts to 100 people. यहाँ पे हफ्ता इसको वो दो, just to stage a concert, it's not a joke. Okay. So I just feel it is very sad if we just look at it from one point of view, saying, yeah, you know what? Yes, when it comes to safety, everywhere, I think when a laborer comes to clean the windows in my glass, eighth floor in my duplex, I find it shocking. Any other part of the world, they would have all kinds of equipment to make sure that they don't fall from that. Here, this guy will tie one rope and jump in and start cleaning the glasses. So, safety in a third world country like ours, which is right now poised to be, one of the biggest economies. I think we are fifth in the line. We are not a minor economy. So it's a conversation worth having on all aspects. We have to care about human life more. But just to now make it all about one incident that happened like this and blaming it on the tough situations in the concerts, yes. I think it's really it's not correct, because ऐसी बात नहीं है मेरे ख्याल से. I'm not one to just बहती गंगा में हाथ धो लो और सबको blame कर दो. I think there are many aspects to it. We are fairly well taken care of. Women's security, and there used to be a lot of issues for me to travel as a female artist to certain places, and yet it has dramatically and beautifully changed. मुजफ्फरनगर की मैं बात कर रही हूँ. 10 years ago, you could not imagine going there and performing the way I did. I was on a 4-lane highway. The pit stop 15 minutes before the city had piped music in the bathrooms, ghazals playing, beautiful lighting, a woman giving me towel. There's a Starbucks and a food court where couples were having coffee. This is Muzaffarnagar, Heartland, UP. And when I had bodyguards with me from Delhi, because the impression was, Muzaffarnagar is communally violent, it's a dangerous place and whatever. The bodyguards from Delhi, I interviewed them on my Twitter page and I said, "Aapko kya chahiye?" They were like, you didn't require us actually. हम ऐसे ही आ गए हैं, लेकिन आपको ज़रूरत नहीं थी हमारी. For me, it was a lovely story to share with my world and my universe, saying there has been progress. There is better safety norms. I am seeing much cleaner, hygienic washrooms and restrooms on the way. The restaurants are there. There are coffee shops. Yes. Couples are able to have a date out there without feeling they'll get lynched. So isn't that progress? Isn't it worth sharing? Because there are two sides to the coin. And I went up on stage and I was so grateful to be back on the live public stage. There were barricades, there were ministers, the Janta was there. I got off the stage. I said, I'm so grateful for this opportunity. I went in and I was like, the security came running. My manager almost started sweating buckets, thinking, ma'am, pagal ho gayi hain कि इतने dangerous जगह में वो crowd के अंदर घुस रही हैं. I said, भाई क्या हो जाएगा? There's so much of love for music, and it was cathartic because I was hugging people. They were crying. There was so much of love so I just think musicians and artists get a lot of love in this country. So for us to suddenly sit and what I would not crave, what I would now desperately work towards is to channelize this energy to say that, guys, let's push for better infrastructure for a touring circuit. Yes. Let's have a culture of paying tickets. Buying your tickets to watch your music. What about our audience? Why does the audience want everything for free? It's like music is for free. We don't want to pay even 100 rupees to go and watch an artist that we love. We want somebody else to sponsor it. So this ticket buying culture is what will create patrons in this new day for us to have a much more thriving live circuit.
Thank you so much, firstly, Sona, for chatting with us. It was, like I said earlier also, it's always a pleasure talking to you. But before we let you go, you have to, it's World Music Day. We can't let you go without a song. I know you just got out of COVID, but just a couple of lines.
Sham piya, हाँ मोरी रंग दे, हूँ मोरी रंग दे चुनरिया, लाल नारंगाऊं, हरी नारंगाऊं, अपने ही रंग में रंग दे चुनरिया, बिना रंगाए मैं तो घर नहीं जाऊंगी, बीते ही जाए चाहे सारी उमरिया, शाम पिया हाँ मोरी रंग दे हो मोरी रंग दे चुनरिया. That sounds terrible and it's tough for me to sing.
It's
But
absolutely beautiful.
I think the meaning is clear.
It is so lovely.
होली फल्ला चंबे दी बूटी हो मेरे मुर्शिद मन विच लाई हूँ नफी इस बात का पानी दे के हर एक रंग हर जाई हूँ हो जुग जुग जिए मेरा मुर्शिद सोहना अथे जिस ये बूटी लाई हूँ फिर मेरे यहाँ झुकनी जी.
Guys, wonderful talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Pleasure was all
Yes.
mine.